everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. This is just my weekly update for my digital cash envelopes. It's a really quick one this week. I say that and I'll probably end up rambling, so apologies if I do. I'm just going to grab a pen to help point at things a little bit easier. So when we did the video, when I made the video last week and you watched it and probably laughed your butts off at me, which is totally fine, I was in chaos, because the balances that my math said that I should have did not match the balances that the actual digital credit card, like the prepaid credit card where I put my digital cash envelope money goes, matched. They were completely off and I had no idea why and I couldn't figure it out. Still can't figure it out. It is an unfigurable out thing and I've just had to walk away from it and to save my sanity, basically. So I just left it. I don't know what happened, and it's in the past now. We're moving forward. So last week I added in the balance, or not the balances, sorry, I added in the money from the budget that I had figured out. So $70 into groceries, 30 into miscellaneous, 40 into fun, 15.75 into physio, 40 into transportation. And then Striker, I had moved over $43.70 from Striker's money over onto this card because there had been a transaction that went out on Instacart that charged to this card accidentally that should have been paid from his money. Striker is my cat, in case you were new. He also has digital money as well as actual physical cash money, but it's not tracked on this prepaid credit card. I'm actually thinking about taking him out of here because I don't fill in his column here anymore. I keep track of it elsewhere and I just keep having to don't look at this column. I'm not doing anything with it, but we'll see what I do on the next page. So on the 26th, after I had the debacle with the budgeting and I had to step away from it, I had to go grocery shopping. So I went to Superstore and I spent $62.52. I had $73.07 in the account. So that was absolutely fine. Now, February 1st, which was yesterday, I went to Save on Foods and I spent $21.90. I didn't do a grocery haul. It was a little bit of an impromptu trip, but I messed up. I thought I had a gift card for this store. So I went to go pay with the gift card and she was like, that's not our gift card. And it totally wasn't. It was mortifying. It was for, Safeway and Sobeys, and I just saw the green of Sobeys and thought Save on Foods. So I ended up paying with this. I knew that I didn't have enough money in the grocery column, but I also knew that I had other money in the other columns that could kind of cover it, so the card itself wasn't going to go into a negative balance. I work on the rule that you can float money from one category to another to cover it until you can pay back the category, basically, as long as it doesn't put the card in general in an overall debt crisis of going completely negative or down to a zero. And so I knew that I wasn't going to have enough money, but I was already at the till and mortified because I pulled out the wrong gift card. And so I just used this credit card, the prepaid one, to pay for the groceries, knowing that I had enough in miscellaneous and fun to cover whatever negative balance I would get to. Miscellaneous, I went to the dollar store on the same day yesterday and spent $15.66, which seems kind of crazy for the dollar store. And then I was in the same sort of shopping area that I was at where I went there. I went to a little coffee shop and I bought a tea for the drive home, and that was $3.25. Now, normally on a Saturday, in the fun column, I have brunch, but the friend that I go for brunch with, I actually gave her a ride to the airport yesterday. Her fiance and the baby, they are going to Ireland for a couple weeks. So as a thank you, I picked up brunch on the way to her place and we hung out for a bit before I took them to the airport, and she paid for my meal, which was so incredibly nice. So I didn't have that expense. So that gives me a total now in groceries, negative $11.35. Miscellaneous $24.64, and fun $43.25. I don't have anything that came out of physio or transportation, so I haven't done any. I suppose I could update those at the bottom. Okay, so these are what my totals are now in the categories. So you can see what I mean. Groceries is negative $11.35, but I have plenty of miscellaneous and fun to cover that, so I'm not concerned about it. I haven't drawn in the lines and put in the headers for the next pages yet, so they're not ready to go, but when I do, I will push over to those pages these balances, and then I'll make a little notation. I can either decide to pay, to cover this and get it to zero balance by moving money from one of these categories over, or if I don't think I'm going to have any expenses really for the next week until payday, I can leave it as is, and then when I put my money from my next paycheck, when I do the budget and I put money back on the card for the different categories, I can just add my money into the grocery category, and it'll be not, so say I put in like $70, it'll be, I can't math, sorry, it'll actually be $58.65 because it'll be going out of the negative to a zero balance, and then on top of that, whatever is left. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense. I know that you know what I'm talking about. I'm just not describing it well. So I might just choose to do that. We will see. It really depends on how the week's going to be going. I don't have any big plans this week. I have physio appointments, but that is it. And we got snow, which I'm in Canada, so that shouldn't seem like a big deal, but I'm in the one area of Canada that does not reliably get snow, not the same way the rest of the country does. We do get it every year. And so it's mortifying how poorly we handle it, considering we get it every single year. But the cities never are prepared and never plan for it, and people freak out and don't know how to drive, and it turns into a whole thing. And basically the rest of the country just laughs at us. But we have snow right now. And so I know like a lot of places will be canceling appointments. A lot of people will be like not willing to go out and do stuff. So I don't have any social plans this coming week. I only have the physio plans. So I'm still intending on going. And I'm assuming the roads will be fine. We'll see how that is, but I did a little bit of grocery shopping on the weekend, just enough to get me through so I wouldn't have to go out for anything. Mostly I bought milk for my tea, and so I don't expect to have any expenses really coming out until my physio appointment. So I think I'm just going to leave this and let these categories kind of cover the negative in groceries, and then I'll decide on payday if I want one of them to pay over to get that to a zero before I fund the category back or not. This did not end up being as short as I thought it would be. I talk too much. I'm so sorry. But this is where I'm at with my weekly update for my digital cash envelopes. I guess I completely forgot to explain at the beginning for anybody new. I do cash budgeting, but a lot of the places that I shop at either prefer to not take cash or outright will not take cash. So my cash is still kept as digital money, but I calculated it out when I do my budget I have bi-weekly paychecks, and then I move the money over onto a prepaid MasterCard, and that is the card that I tap whenever I am paying for anything out of groceries, miscellaneous, fun, physio, or transportation. So that is a brief explanation of that. So I know that it's in a negative, and normally I would be upset about that, but I'm not for the reasons that I've already explained. So I'm just going to go along next week, living my best life and not spending any money. And we will see where these envelopes are at next week. Thank you so very much for following my videos. I very much appreciate you watching. I hope if you're doing any kind of cash budgeting, whether it's physical cash or digital cash, that is going really well for you. And February, it will be our month. It's a short one. We can get through this, right? Right. We can totally get through this. I will talk to all of you on the next video. Stay safe out there. Bye.